Hello all, Sammy the dog trainer here on this fine fall afternoon. If you have a minute before we start our doggy discussion today, please consider supporting this podcast. It's listeners like you who make it possible. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about taking your dog on car rides. It seems like I get a lot of requests for how do I make my dog stop doing this thingy or that thingy, and I will do a bunch of podcasts on those types of problems. If you missed it, we just did one on how to get your dog to stop barking incessantly. So check that one out if you'd like. As always, you can submit podcast questions and topics on my website, SammyTheDogTrainer.com. That's SAMMY, thedogtrainer.com. Through my Facebook page, Camp Sammy Tampa Dog Training. Or you can email me at SammyTheDogTrainer@gmail.com. Again, that's SAMMY, thedogtrainer@gmail.com, no spaces. Or hit me up on Twitter, that's Sammy Dog Trainer. No the, because, I don't know, Twitter decided I would only be Sammy Dog Trainer on Twitter, so there's that. Okay, so today's topic is taking your dog on car rides. Many of our dogs love going for car rides. My dog, Woofo, you've probably heard me talk about him before. Well, he loves to go on car rides so much that he will jump in anyone's car. And he has jumped in just about everyone's car. That dog has absolutely no loyalty. He will go with anyone. Just kidding. He's a good boy. But if you leave your door open, he will hitchhike. So, why do some dogs like car rides so much, Sammy? Well, there are a few explanations for their joy in the good old field trip. The first is the inundation of scent. When a dog sticks his nose out of the window, he's being bombarded with smells and airflow. I've actually seen some theories that posit this can actually give your dog a sort of high euphoric feeling. Some believe when dogs smell, it's like when people read and see a scene unfold in their heads like a series of images. Riding in the car does this for your dog at full blast. That, and being a skydiver myself, I get it. I like hanging my head out the window too. It's also a logical assumption that dogs like car rides because it's just something new and exciting. They might get to go somewhere cool. Well-adjusted dogs usually love adventures. And they love going anywhere that you go because they're your friends. Now, if you only ever put your dog in the car to go to the vet, then they might not be so super excited about it. Or if you have a dog like I do, Woofo loves going to the vet. He loves just about everybody and everything. So even if he goes to the vet, he's super stoked. You gotta love dogs. Now, some dogs hate car rides. Why? Usually it's because they had a bad experience at one point. This is usually an upset tummy, and they probably ended up barfing. Even if they do not get in trouble for causing a mess in the car, they still remember the bad feeling of having the upset tummy. And dogs are usually embarrassed of making messes if they're housebroken as well. So, to a dog like that, the car equals embarrassment and upset tummies. When they see the car again, they get nervous again, causing an upset stomach again. And the cycle goes on and on. Okay, Sammy, how do I break the cycle? The answer, like a lot of things in dog training, is very small steps at a time. Practice just getting your dog in and out of the car and reward them profusely just for that. Don't go anywhere yet. Then do that a few more times. Then graduate to in the car and shut the door. Then in the car, shut the door, turn the car on. You're rewarding all the time for each of these steps. Then maybe back out of the drive and then back the driveway and then back in again. Then take a gander around the block. Very short distances and times. Because remember, all of dog training is a function of time and space. If you want to buy my academic dog training 101 lecture from my website or through Udemy, if you're going to go on Udemy, look for Practical Easy Dog Training for the Real World on their website, then you will become familiar with these types of key concepts. Now, that's the behavioral side of it. There are a few other things you can do to help your dog stay calm. On the over-the-counter side, there's always giving your dog a ginger snap cookie or some kind of doggy ginger chew. There are some available for dogs. Don't give them like sugar-free people stuff because sugar-free stuff is poisonous for your dog. So make sure you read labels or get something that's specifically made for dogs. The ginger in it helps settle their stomachs. There are also a variety of homeopathic calming chews available out there. I would take a peek at Amazon to get an idea of what's available, or your local pet store. I'm a big proponent of buying local, so check out your local pet store. There are also herbal calming collars available. Many of them have natural scents like lavender to help ease your dog's anxiety. One thing I have had some success with and that did well in clinical trials was dog appeasing pheromones. This is a synthetic pheromone that you can get in either a room spray, a diffuser, or a collar that your dog can smell but you can't. For the car, I find the spray to be the most effective. The pheromone helps ease them. Now, of course, there are bigger hitting options available through your veterinarian if you are doing the small behavioral steps and the over-the-counter methods and it's still just not working. But I would encourage you to try the steps first before resorting to prescription medicine, unless your situation calls for it and your dog is going to bust through your windshield. Nobody wants your dog busting through your windshield. Nobody. Now, Sammy, why does my dog slobber so much in the car? It's gross. Well, slobbering is a reaction to increased stimulus. It basically means your dog is overexcited, or they have rabies. Just kidding. Vaccinate your dog for rabies. Rabies is actually gross. Slobber is just kind of par for the course if you have a dog. Try putting a bandana on them. Not only is it super cute, but it doubles as a spit wiping rag. Yay! Now, take note of when your dog slobbers excessively for them, because then that will tell you vital information about their excitement levels. Or it might just tell you that you have a slippery, derpy dog. One of the two. Okay, Sammy, what is the safest way for my dog to ride in the car? Well, technically, the safest way for your dog to ride in the car is in a crate in the back. Oh, sorry, we had an interruption there. You guys be nice to each other. Oh, I know. All right, so a crate in the car. However, this is not super fun for anybody. I have a metal barrier put up separating the back portion of my Jeep from the front so that the woofers that I have in there have a nice foamy padded area to hang out in, but I don't have to wrestle an 85-pound dog in my lap while driving down the highway. It works out well. I can roll the windows down a bit, and he can stick his head out, and everybody is happy. Sorry, I'm wrestling dogs at the same time, trying to while I'm doing this podcast. Just a precaution, I do not roll the windows down so much that he can wedge his body out because he will tumble out of the car. It is an old wives' tale that dogs will just simply stay put in the car. Some dogs do, not all dogs do. It's not a good idea to figure out where your dog falls in that spectrum at 70 miles an hour. I also put the child safety locks on because my dog is too smart for his own good and will let himself out of the car if he feels like it, and the child locks are not engaged. Yay, dogs! Always inventing fun problem sets for us. Now, that's how I travel with dogs. There are all kinds of harnesses and stuff that clip into the safety belts and whatnot. I find dogs get tangled in them more often than not, and it's just a distraction for the driver. That, and not many of them have actually been impact tested, so you're using a product that's supposedly going to provide your dog safety basically blind. I like the metal barrier, and they have their own area, and that's personally my solution. I even have a foam mattress topper back there, and when my dog and I go camping, we both sleep back there. Woofo thinks it's the coolest thing ever. I do have to remember, though, when we do that, to take the child safety locks then, because otherwise we lock ourselves in the back of the Jeep, and then we're in the penitentiary back there. Yeah, anyways. Now, I encourage you guys to get out, especially now that in this nice, cooler weather, and take your four-legged children for some joy rides. As always, do not leave your dog unattended in a hot car. Switch the AC on and check on them every now and then. Use your judgment. Hydrate your dog. Make sure you have enough gas to keep the AC running, and do not leave them for a long period of time. As a professional, I would say never leave your dog in the car. As a real person, I would say use judgment. Don't be stupid, and don't abuse your animals. It's pretty easy to figure out what is too long to leave your dog in the car with it running. Also, that extra set of keys comes in handy when you lock your car while it's still running. How do I know this? Yeah. So anyways, get out there, enjoy the road with your Poochie partner, and thanks for listening to Sammy the Dog Trainer's podcast. It's because of listeners like you we can have these podcast sessions. If you're feeling generous, please click on the support this podcast button on anchor.com, or even check us out on Patreon. That's Patreon, patreon.com. You can find Sammy the Dog Trainer on there as well. Get out there and have some fun. Cheers.